Do you ever dream of playing like a tennis pro?
In dem ein weiterer Wechsel, eine weitere Wende in diesem Spiel.
But you end up on the tennis court looking like a tennis Joe Schmo. In your mind, you think your forehand looks like this, but in reality, it looks more like this. Don't let bad tennis happen to you. And don't worry, because Crunch Time Coaching is releasing a 10-part series called The Complete Tennis Player, where we teach you in order, one skill at a time, how to go from being a tennis zero to a tennis hero. Okay, that's really cheesy, but you want to be great at tennis, right? Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back to our series on becoming a more complete tennis player. Now, in our last episode, we talked about variety in your game, variety on your ground strokes in the rally. Today is all about variety on the serve.
Variety on the serve is huge, and most people think, well, if I just have a kick serve and a slice serve and a flat serve, that I've got variety on my serve. And what I want you to do, and I'm challenging you, is to go deeper than that. So today we're just going to take a look at one serve. That's a slice serve, and it's just not about, most people think when they see the slice serve, it's about slicing it off wide, especially the lefties are kind of famous for that.
Oh yeah, the Johnny Mac can opener.
Yeah, so many righties say, I hate playing lefties, and you ultimately think of that out wide serve, which is great. But what I want you to also think about is varying your pace and your depth. So we're going to have a challenge today where we're going to go out wide short. I want it to go short in the box. That's going to have a little less pace. Then I'm going to go deep in the corner to the green cone, and then we're going to go into the body. So that's 3 different locations. The pace is also different, and it's going to add to where now your opponent, when they're playing you, they don't quite know what's coming.
Right. Now, I got a quick question for some people out there who might be wondering, what's the main difference between the short, slower, more slicey slice that takes off the court, and then the green cone we have set? You guys will see in a second where the cones are set up, or I guess we can put it up on the screen now. So for the righty side, if you're serving deuce court, if you're slicing between those blue cones on the left and going slower, like you said, it's a less powerful serve, but it comes off the court more. What's the difference with the green cone, the deeper one?
Okay, well, let me borrow that ball. Oh, we got a nice fresh one too. Good job, Matt. So I look at the ball as a big block of cheese. And I look at the strings as a cheese grater. And so the more I want it to cut off and go off the court, I'm doing fine little pieces of cheese, little thin strands are coming through. And
hence the less power you were talking about.
Right. And if I want to hit it deeper in the box, this is just how I think about it. I'm thinking about more big chunks coming through. So I just play with those feelings until I find the right mix.
Now, what is the desired result? What are you trying to do to your opponent? Like, I get it, one's more off the court than the other, but what's the benefit of hitting the green cone and going more power, less slice?
Well, it's keeping them guessing. So if they see a certain toss from me, they're thinking, oh, he's going to slice it out wide, it's going to go short, so they may start cheating over. And then if I can hit it deep in the box, but still has some slice on there, then all of a sudden, they can't quite guess where it's going to be. You know, so if you're playing somebody who's very predictable, you can almost start to sticking your racket in a certain area of the court, and it's going to make contact with the string. So I'm trying to always keep that ball moving, dancing around the box, so they don't quite ever know where it's going to go and how hard it's going to come in.
So maybe I would start off with the shorter, slicier slice and hit a few of those, and then when the opponent starts cheating in for that, when they see that same slice toss, they get it deep in the corner, you might get an error.
That's perfect. It's like Matt is reading my mind, because that's exactly what I usually like to do. I like to lock in on that short slice, because that's not only going to give me the most aces, it's going to open up the court the most, so my second shot's a lot easier. But once I feel like they're reading that, then I start to go deeper in the box or into the body.
Same toss, same look on everything, but you might jam them up trying to move in for it to come off the court.
Exactly right. So let's take a look at some demos, and then we'll take it from there.
All right, let's do it. All right, guys, so let's demo some of these serves that Pete and I were talking about. We're about to switch it over to the fence cam so you can see where the ball's going. But first, Pete, tell them really quick what serve you're going to hit, and maybe a little bit about how you're going to do it.
This is my favorite serve, and if you're a lefty, you have to have this serve. I'm going short, I'm actually aiming between the yellow cone and the red cone. If it's trouble seeing on the screen, we'll make sure you guys can see it. But I'm aiming real short in the box here.
Okay.
Okay? And just so you know, as I'm going here, I don't mind if I miss wide in the beginning, just as long as I can really start to feel it. So we'll see what happens on this first ball. Okay, that was pretty good. That got him right into the side fence.
He was saying you got to have this serve if you're a lefty. He's got it.
Yeah, you got to have. Now, believe it or not, that was a pretty good serve, but I think I can actually hit it more off the court, and to do that, I'm gonna just work on opening my shoulders a little early. So I might miss wide here if I do what I'm thinking, or I might hit a perfect serve right on the line. We'll see what happens.
Pretty close. Pretty close to the line.
And right there, that's actually my favorite. Like if I can lock into that, I'll do that all day long, because it actually didn't hit the line, but it got even more severe off the court. So I love the way it felt, and that's where I want to lock in. So I'm going, okay, body, feel that, lock it in like a computer, and do that over and over again.
So that's probably get an ace off of a lot of guys.
That could get a lot of aces, or at least easy volleys when I'm playing doubles, or open court ground strokes and singles.
Lefty forehand up the line.
Yeah. Next thing I'm going to do, now once they're reading that,
the green cone.
The green cone, and it's going to be almost appear flat, but it's going to have a hint of slice on it.
So you're going to hit the same stroke, but less thin of a slice on the ball. You're going to try to catch more of the ball with your contact.
Yeah, and I might beat them with pace. This might come in faster than they're used to, so they might be really late on it, miss out wide, and so this could get some free points if I'm doing that first serve pretty well.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. Okay.
There was a hint of slice?
There's a hint of slice in there, and I almost hit the target. So don't ask me to demo that again.
Yeah, that was perfect. We'll just take that one. All right, so I'm a little bit worried. Some of you guys out there might be confused because earlier Pete just said if he's got that first serve going, then he's going to go for the green cone. And he hit that flat with a hint of slice beauty on the green cone just about. And I'm worried someone out there might think he's saying that's his second serve. This is not the second serve. This is all happening in the first serve. In fact, when you say, Pete, for your second serve, you got a whole different approach to this.
Yeah, second serve, I usually like to still go short in the box, but I'm going to hit more height on it, okay? So it's going to look more like this on the second serve, and hopefully a little more off the court. And I'm still going to jump into it, but that gives me a little more safety if I'm hitting the ball higher.
So basically, Pete's hitting his favorite first serve as his second serve with a little more height and slowed down just a little bit, making sure he's slicing enough to guarantee it's going to drop in high enough to guarantee it doesn't go in the net.
Now my last serve that I love to do with a slice, and if you can do these three serves off a slice, you don't even, I have a kick and I have a flat, but you almost don't need the other two, because just with these three serves alone, if you mix them up at the right time, they cannot read. They're always off. They're always just off a little bit behind the play. So this one I'm actually going to try and hit through the red cones right here, and it's going to hook into the body. One thing that as a lefty I want them to do is get excited that they think they're getting a forehand and actually trails into the backhand, but they're going to be so determined to hit a forehand that they're going to let it jam their hip, hopefully, and usually miss the return out wide. They're usually late on this.
Sounds like a good plan. Pretty good.
It was pretty good, but that's actually a mistake because I wouldn't catch their hip. It would still go into the backhand. Still not bad. It's kind of like a good mistake because it will trail into their backhand. But I need to get it through those red cones if it's going to hit their forehand hip, which is what I want. So let me see if I can do that a better job. What I did there, just so you know, what I'm telling myself is, oh, I opened up my hips too early, and I need to hold them slightly longer if I'm going to bring it back into the red target there.
Oh yeah, pretty good.
That was perfect. So there, they're seeing the forehand, they see it, and then it keeps coming into their body.
Yeah, this is why one of the reasons why I love watching Roger Federer, because on his serve games you get to see him go through all these processes. And just to reiterate on what I was saying earlier, everything we're talking about here, this is all happening on the first serve. This is the variety. You want to establish that you hit a spot on your first serve. So for Pete, it's the shorter off the court slice, and you want to get them looking for that after you've made several of those serves. And then that's when you start trying the other two. This is how you keep your opponent off balance and hold serve in like 1 minute or less, like we always see Roger do. All right, so today was all about serve variety, and we mostly talked about the slice serve because I think a lot of people have a hard time getting the kick. It seems like, wouldn't you say, Pete, the slice is an easier spin to master on your serve?
I think so. People can naturally start to feel what it's like to come around the ball, see that movement, even though they're not making the serve right away. So absolutely, I agree.
Well, I know one thing is when people start kicking, they always do a kick slice. It's very hard to get just the pure kick. So we've got 6 big money plays for you guys today. That's a 6-part free training series all about getting that slice serve up to speed. So do that as your bonus work.
Yep, and don't forget to comment today. The question of the day is, when you go to hit a slice serve, what is your biggest challenge? Is it location, speed, consistency? What do you struggle with most in the slice serve? And that training's gonna help you out.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the one for me was I would just put it in the net a lot. I would constantly make contact too high on the ball when I was trying to get the slice.
So comment, that puts you in the raffle if you're commenting on all these videos to win a free tennis racket. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video, which is all about closing out points.
Which is something I love. It's gonna be a great video. We'll see you next time. So today we talked a lot about serve. All right, so make it work. We just gotta say something.